you're a woman, she's a queen to you, and essentially you kind of alluded to the reason that she was a black queen to you was because she was gentle.
That's not what I said.
That's not what you said.
No, I said,
Explain
what
to
I
me
was
again.
trying to say, she's held me accountable.
Held you accountable.
And forced me, man.
You didn't, in a soft way that made you able to do it.
Because I'm about to walk the fuck out of here.
We right here with you.
Okay, but I'm saying, in order for us to trust, if this is about fucking trusting black women, then you gotta be able to let your woman hold you accountable when you do patriarchal shit.
You agree?
Right.
And when you come from the streets, that's almost impossible. The main theme is trusting black women, but how do we get ourselves as men fixed to be able to love them the way they need to be loved?
Well, that's the beauty of this conversation, because we are currently right now, harmoniously trying to lay this one brick to create more foundation that we can build on to be able to have a place of trust that black women feel like they can come into this space with us. That we will listen and we will sit
and
here
be gentle
and but be gentle with ourselves, that we don't understand, that I don't understand what's being said. And I think somebody's hearing me wrong. Somebody's saying wrong. Somebody's talking over me. Something's happening to me. These are all things that don't allow women to come and open up to us because we are ready to play football every goddamn time.
It wasn't us. It wasn't the black women that wasn't going out and voting. Honestly, I spoke to a lot of black men, and they were not going out to vote.
Statistics tell us that most black men that voted did vote for Kamala.
Exactly. Well, I'm talking about people like now on radio. I have a lot of people that call in, and they made it very, very clear that they were never going to vote for Kamala ever, is what they said. They said they'd take anyone over her.
So I will say this. So having experienced this myself, I can speak from a place of both power and information. Okay. Sexism is absolutely real in every community. Racism is absolutely real. But let's look at the data. And what the data says is that black men support black women. Black women support black women the most. Yeah. But the next highest support system, black men. Now, a lot of folks who call in to tell you what they are going to do weren't planning to do anything anyway.
They didn't vote. It wasn't us.
Black men voted for me at the same rate they voted for Raphael Warnock. But if you heard the news, black men couldn't stand me, and that is designed to fracture our communities. I think it is so important that you raise that, because one of the misinformation points is that they leverage our inherent mistrust of systems to convince us that we don't have the support that we need.
That's right.
My responsibility is to never let them tell me that my brothers don't love me as much as my sisters.
Amen.
That's right.
But the other reality,
his best friend until the day we found out the movie was at 100 million. And I was on the phone with her. I was like, "Friend, I'm so proud of you. The movie's at 100 million." We was on the phone. And she's like, "Friend?" I was like, "Yeah, we best friends." She was like, "Friend." She's like, "Friend." I was like, "Yeah." I'm so proud of you, best friend.
We didn't switch up on the phone.
So we have been talking, and she was like, "Have you ever been to my house?" I was like, "Damn." Like, "No, I ain't never, you're right, I ain't never been to your," but I was there when the nigga was whooping your ass. Like, I was, you know what I'm saying? I done seen other shit. I've been there for some shit. So, yeah, she's like, "We ain't da-da-da-da-da." I guess when I said best friend, I'm proud of you. I don't know what spirit it triggered in her, but she had to get me straight right then. She's like, "This ain't that," and went off on me for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then I was like, "Oh, shit, that's great. That's wild." I don't know if you saw that thing with Glorilla, Brorilla, her sister went off on her about not helping her or something.
Yeah.
And I agree, like, no one successful owes you anything. My family was asking, like, "Why you don't talk to Tiffany?" When Tiffany Haddish came to Memphis, she pretty much stayed with me and my lady. We part, you know what I'm saying? Like, the whole week before she went to do girls trip, which was like 2 weeks, she was like, "Henry, you should come to New Orleans. I'm about to go down here and tape the boot." I was like, "Bitch, I had a warehouse job. I had to go," you know what I'm saying? I had to go clock in and get on the forklift. So I was like, "Man, I hate I ain't go." But like, we still talked to rap every day. So when the shit went down, and we were still talking, movie taping. We did show. We did a weekend together in Boston. We did a couple cities together. Like, we was still like, I'm talking about like this. So it was the constantly doing the shows together. When she told me I had never been to her house, I realized, you're right, I haven't. But I had.
Damn. That was a tough comment.
You said, what?
That was a tough comment.
It hit me like in the stomach. I was like, damn, this bitch right. I ain't never been to her house. Like,
know what's gonna fix it, but black men, we are the only women who have been here for y'all no matter what.
I beg your pardon?
Protect y'all, listen to y'all, care about y'all, love y'all. And for us to be treated like second-class citizens within our own community is insane. Like I said, I get it. You're not trying to black women or have a relationship with a black woman or have a family with that's okay. I'm not checking for y'all either. But at least we can be friendly. If somebody else has experienced this or knows why this is, I mean, I know why it is.
A historian coming at you with another one. Please listen to this one. This one will be deep. I want you to hear me out. And as you see, the guy that was Tiffany Haddish's best friend said that he was her best friend for a while, and she acted like she doesn't know him. Like she never really, F with him. She never really was his best friend when she blew up, when she got successful. This is most black women, but this is most of America. America has this problem. Europeans have this problem because there's something conditioned on friendship in the European society. It's conditioned by something, by what you can offer, by what you can say, by how you make them feel, by how it's going to benefit them. That is how European society, the society that you live in, work with friendship. But that's not truly friendship. Nothing is true in white supremacy. Nothing is true in white society. The only thing that can be true to them is their sexual experience. And even that's not true. It's about how much you can benefit, how much they can benefit from your sexual experience. So nothing is true. And you can see the dude, how he explains that, even her family or his family asked him, hey, you still talk to Tiffany? Now, when your family still asking you about somebody, that was your friend. Supposedly, that was your friend. But see, black women don't work this way. This is why they all come back after the trips to places, not friends anymore or barely talking anymore, going their own way, or or they go out and there's something that happens that's problematic because they weren't true friends in the first place. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you how. But first I need to explain how this has compromised men in America. All men. This has compromised all men in America, specifically black men, because black men are now at the point where they can no longer be friends and there cannot be a benefit for one another. There cannot be something suspectable. They're suspect of one another. The word pause and the word the no homo and the no diddy, it's all saying that we cannot be together as men without something sexual, without something monetary, without something emotionally bonded between us. And that's not a friendship. When it's a friendship, you don't have to tell your friend nothing emotionally. You don't have to tell your friend nothing monetarily until it gets to a point where y'all need something together. You don't have to tell your friend nothing sexually. Everything is already known. It does not need to be talked about or questioned. But see, black men, the reason why a lot of black men and men in America, period, have to talk about or try to plan what they're doing next with their friend is because they're not truly friends, and women have gave them this idea. And for instance, I had two best friends at my undergrad, in my grad school. Now, when I went to graduate school, I had two best friends, two girls named Kia and Shell. Now, I lost all my guy friends because they graduated and they didn't stay for grad school. So I don't have any friends. The younger guys, I hang around sometimes, but they're just not. They act like women, they're wild and they're not serious about life. So, women like a man who is stable in his self and a man who has other women. And I had a girlfriend at the time, but I had two best friends that I made during my first years of grad school. Now, both of these girls never knew where I stayed. I told them, but they never been over my place. Not because I had a girlfriend, but because they didn't need to know where I stayed to be my friend. I didn't need to open up to them emotionally about what was happening in my relationship because they were truly my friend. I didn't need to tell them, hey, what we're doing today is and this and that in order, and we're gonna go here and go. I didn't need to do it. They just came along because they felt comfortable, they felt safe, they felt together, they felt a true, unapologetic, if you want, idea that I am not against this person in any way. That is friendship. When you don't have to, when you just tell your friend meet you somewhere and they don't ask all these questions. All they say is where, and then they be like, I'll be there. And let's say you don't have nothing planned. Your friend meets you there and there's nothing planned. What's up? Nah, I was just trying to tell you to come out. Okay. That's friendship because they know that there is something here that we can build off of, even if there's nothing to do. There's no money there, or we don't sexually like each other, or we don't have a motive to capitalize off of each other in a certain way. That right here, that we have plenty of people that we can capitalize on. We have plenty of things that in life that we can capitalize on, but between us right here, we have a foundation where we can rest and be together without being corrupted by a capitalist or individualized mindset that what I have, I'm eventually going to leave you for if you don't benefit me. And in a way, a friend benefits you. The only liability that a friend has is that if a friend dies. Even if the friend, leaves one day and never comes back, you're just glad, man, that was a good friend. The only liability that a friend has is if the friend dies. Then you're left in some kind of grief. But that is not happening today because a lot of black men move like black women. The black community is a matriarch. And a lot of white guys are going through this too. A lot of white guys are going through not being able to make friends because white society has only made a profit off of racist ideas. So if white guys can't make friends with other white guys, the racist atmosphere does not let them maneuver around to make friends with other people unless they get into groups or religious religious groups, politics, or different movements. Preferably, the most recruiting movement, the finish the letter movement. So the thing is, there's no way around black women and their control of the black community. And any black man is telling you that there is, that we need to do something, that we need to go out and vote. I don't know if you went out and voted, but there's only 2 people on the voting all around the country for black people. There's only 2 people. There's older black women and there's a few older black men. Now, as I told you before, older black women love young black men, but it's sexually motivated. Older black men despise young black men. You don't have a future as a young black man without getting married to another black, dark-skinned, Asiatic, African woman across this world outside of America and rebuilding and establishing your community. I would even argue that you don't have a true friend in the black community unless you start gaining languages, gaining political information and identities from other African diasporic nations across the world. Because look at Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Man. I'm sure Pooh Shiesty, before he robbed Gucci Man, I'm sure if you asked him, is Gucci Man your friend, he would have said yeah. I'm sure every black woman that has went on a girls trip and has came back not friends, if you would have asked her before she went out on those that trip, are y'all friends, she would have sold it to you that they are best friends. That these are girls I hang out with, like ride or die. I would even bet that if you went into a church and you ask these black women who are their friends in this church, she would say everyone is my friend under the name of Christ Jesus. All these are my friends. All these are my neighbors. All these are whatever they're gonna call them. The deacons and stuff, the deaconess. You ask them who are their friends, and they will say everybody in here is my friend. Then go to the verse where Jesus says, no greater friend is there than a friend that will lay down their life for you. And you ask them, would you lay down your life for your friend? And they would either have two things to say. They would lie and say yes, or they would excuse themselves like most black women do when you show them something in the Bible that they do not agree with. They will move the goalpost. They will try to say something else or try to bring up another verse or look or just ignore you completely. You cannot make friends if the children that are coming into your community are coming to women and men like that. If they're coming from women and men like that, you are going to be betrayed in your life as a young black male and a young black woman growing up in black America, in the black communities of America, or growing up in America, in any community. You will be betrayed somewhere in your life over and over again until you get it right. Now, maybe a few will maneuver around, or this betrayal will miss them, but the majority of black people in America are going to go through some type of betrayal because there's not a true friendship apart from white culture that is practiced in the black community. If you around your friend and you got to say Paul, that's not your friend. There's no reason to say Paul. You can laugh and say, nah, that sounded weird, sounded gay. But if you say pause and you're saying pause over and over again and you don't mean it in that way, that's not your friend. If you got to apologize or redirect your tone or how you're saying things or make an adjustment to what you're trying to tell your friend every single second or over and over again, that's not your friend. If your friend only comes around when it's something to do, when there's some monetary gain, when there's some and especially if there's something sexual between y'all, that's not your friend. That's not. I remember when a lot of black women were saying there's no such thing as a girl best friend. If he has a girl best friend, that he's toxic, or I'm not dating no guy with no girl best friend. It's because a black woman's mind and a woman's mind is so perverted. They can only think about sex when that's happening because that's what they would do. It's a projection. I've heard one black woman said that all men are gay. It's a projection. Because a black woman, I'm gonna say this, and even though I've had a black woman who has been a best friend to me before, most black women, I'm gonna just say most black women are not good friends. So their children are not good friends. Most black children are not good friends. I'm not saying white friends are better, not at all, because what they get this from is white culture. I'm saying that you need to leave America altogether to find and build. If you want to come back, you need to come back and build a community with foreign women of African and dark Asian descent to get a different outcome in your community and save your community. It's the only way. Voting won't do it. Reparations are not going to do it. You're too far gone as a community with knowing thyself. Yourself has been compromised. Black men are extremely compromised to where everything sounds sus or everything sounds gay to them. It's because your mind is compromised. I remember finding out that, when I became a student, a true student, that you can learn from anything. Everything is a learning experience, a growing experience. If your mind is always on something sus or looking for something that is gay or saying pause all the time or saying no diddy all the time, it's because your mind is always looking to learn or grow in that way. Your inner ideas, your inner identity is gay. It's compromised. That black man in America is just as much a problem growing up as any black woman in America in any time period after 1970. He's a product of her in every way. There's no way that you can You can tell me that even Drake said it once, that if I didn't have all of my accomplishments and all of my accolades, I would have less friends. I mean, I would have more friends. He said I would have more friends. If I didn't have all my achievements and the accolades, I would have more friends. Because let me tell you something, the black women in America will the day they will really show how much they hate black men is when black men are doing very well across every level of activity, not just entertainment, education, economic, labor, law. There's not that many black men in law anymore. When they're doing good in every level of activity in the environment, you're gonna see, like you see all the misandry coming out today, you're gonna see who is truly against you. It's already coming out. It's already coming out. When a white man is around black women, he can say the N-word freely. That's not your. If someone can come around your friend and disrespect you, and when you're not around, that is not your friend. Or if black women are coming back and saying, yeah, has it ever been a black woman who came out and said, yeah, white men, they are disrespectful to us as a black community when they're around us and there's no black men around? No, she says there's a white man being disrespectful to black women. Black men need to do something about it. That's not a friend. That's somebody trying to use you to fight their battle. A friend is somebody who comes back and says, there's white men disrespecting us. We need to start to do something about it. And then they come back to you and they say, how are we going to do something about this? Because we didn't like that. If a friend does not come back to plan how they are going to get back at someone who is disrespecting you, they just come back to tell you what you going to do about it. And if you don't do nothing about it, they tease you or call you a punk or call you scared or something like that. That's not your friend, buddy. That person is not with you. The person is not on your side. See, it's a lot of videos of white women when their friend or their man, it doesn't even have to be their man, it could just be their friend. They get punched by a black dude or punched by a guy, and the white woman steps up and she said, what is wrong with you? Why are you doing? Leave, get out of here. And she's talking to the dude. Now the dude can easily punch her. But see, white women are true friends. Not all white women are true friends, not all. But there are more white women, so they have an advantage. White women are true friends to white men. Black women know that white women do not like them, but they will never put a black man over a white in their mind because she's still a woman. Every black woman that goes to a PWI, and I mean every black woman that goes to a PWI is compromised. She's compromised. She will not be fond of black men because if she goes to a PWI, her ability to see you as a friend is only conditioned by what the institution sees you by. And there's no PWI in America that sees black men as allies or friends to their community. With all that black men have done for America, PWIs only see black men as tools for their institution. And that is the way every black woman that graduates from a PWI sees black men. Now, at a HBCU, more black women see black men as friends. Like I said, I went to a HBCU. I know black women who see me as friends. Yet there are so many black women that are compromised from their families that it's nowhere the black woman in America can go and not have bad friendships wherever she has spent time at. Because that's how intricate, that's how intertwined the malice, the teaching of black women have been to the youth, that these women are extremely individualized to see everything in a corrupt manner. And you can't even build a solid foundation of friendship with black women or black men in America. So the only thing you can do is create a different type of archetype, of black people by genetically gaining African and some saving these African women, because I don't believe that all African people, I don't think African people from Africa will ever get over racism. Matter of fact, they don't even know, they haven't even touched racism. They still got to get out of colonialism. They're still in colonialism. And I don't think they're going to get out of it. But you get that African woman No matter if she's in the Samoan Islands, no matter if she's in, South Africa, preferably not, but South Africa, the Ivory Coast, Tanzania, Morocco. I don't care where you get her from. If you want to get a South Asian, Nepalese woman, Indonesian woman, just that Southern Asiatic woman, the dark-skinned Asiatic woman. I don't care where. I don't care if it's an African woman, dark-skinned woman in Brazil, and I don't care if she's in Chile. You go get her, you teach her, you have children with her, and then her children grow up to become a better friend to the next black person.